those who are following me in regards to the Honda Accord 2018 Sport 1.5 Turbo. Currently sitting at 105 miles, so 67,105. About a few days ago, today's Wednesday, so one Sunday morning, my car went completely haywire. I had the brake system light on, I had the engine light on, I had the stability assist, basically, you know, this button right here is what you'll see, the symbol. These two symbols were on. Well, they're off technically. They were on in the dashboard, up here and up here. So I was having the adaptive cruise control wasn't working. I couldn't use my cruise control. My braking mitigations, which is a braking safety system to help you to brake before you get into an accident, wasn't working. Neither was my adaptive cruise control. My brake system was having issue warnings. My brake hold, which is what you see down here when you have your seatbelt on and you want to take your foot off the brake at a light or at the drive-thru or something like that, it wasn't allowing me to use that. My emissions light went on. My auto high beam headlight went on. My uphill light went on, the uphill assist to help you from rolling back. All those, like, I want to say like at least 10 warning lights went on all at once. It made me kind of freak the hell out. Even my lane keeping assist wouldn't turn on. You know, a lot of stuff, pretty much all the safety stuff that you see in the 2018 Accords that, you know, you were pretty used to by this time driving it, pretty much went back to caveman mode. And you know, it was telling me not to accelerate high or go at high speeds. You know, there's a bunch of stuff not to do. So I'm gonna pop my hood for you guys. Luckily my roommate had a luckily my roommate had a diagnostic tool that I was able to use. And just give me a second. The motor is dirty, gets a little dusty in California. Sometimes you get crazy winds. This was blue when I originally bought it. It got super dirty. Didn't clean it for like almost a year, and it's just bad, lazy port on my end. And pretty much, you know, I took it apart, cleaned it, and my roommate had some oil to put back on the filter, so I used the oil and it got red, so now it's a red filter. The intake piping, mass airflow, and mass airflow wire. So pretty much what it came down to was that my intake was so dirty that when I cleaned it, it didn't make a difference on the lights, and everything was still popping up on the dashboard, blah blah blah. So when I used the OB2 sensor, the diagnostic tool, I was able to find out that I got two error codes. One was a mass airflow sensor, which is connected to the intake tube that I showed you guys, and another one was a valve number 4 misfire. And I called the dealer and I gave him the codes, and I can write the codes down for you guys, so if anybody else is having these issues, if you have a diagnostic tool and it's one of those, and pretty much what I did is I had cleaned the intake Sunday, the same day it happened, in the evening. I cleaned it. Still running those lights for a few days, kind of freaked me out, stressed me out. I reset the codes with the diagnostic tool myself, because there was only 2 errors that it gave me, and now all the lights miraculously turned off. Also keep in mind that I did clean the intake pretty well, thoroughly, and I oiled it back up. So I have noticed that somebody else was having this issue, and theirs came down to the safety sensing little box that's in the front and the bumper, because he lived in a cold area. For me, I don't live in a too cold area. I'm in Southern California. It only snows in the mountains, but it does get between 45 to 60 sometimes in the winter. So if you guys are having this issue, I would definitely recommend investing in a diagnostic tool. It doesn't have to be a super expensive one. This one was just a little box connected to a wire that you connect to your computer which is located here. If you can see it, this little thing right here. Let me focus. So you connect it to it. You do not turn your car on. What you do is you put it to auxiliary mode. And what that is basically, it looks like is before you don't put your foot on the brake, you just push the engine button twice and it'll have the auxiliary mode, and you can use your radio and all that stuff and see all the stuff in your dashboard. That's pretty much what you do. You leave in auxiliary mode after you plugged in the diagnostic tool. You run the tool check, and it'll tell you what error codes you have. Like I said, I had 2, and I'll try to put them in the description, if not the comments. And hopefully that helps somebody. That kind of freaked me the F out with this 2018 Accord. You know, I didn't have the extra money, especially with this whole COVID thing going on. I am working, but I didn't have the extra money to disperse into a car, especially if I needed, you know, the dealer's going to charge you $150 to do a diagnostic check, you know, on everything, when I just did it in less than 2 minutes for free, because of my roommate, thank God. So if anybody out there is having issues, I mean, that's one way to go about it. It can tell you what's going on. The other thing would spend the $150 if you have it, which is not always the best way, but if you want to be safe, that's probably the better route, I guess. That's pretty much it. There was a recent, I guess, recall. Yeah, there was a recall. If you guys have the Honda app on your phone, download it. It is VIN specific, so not everyone's gonna have the recall, but the dealer does that for free. It's just a software update they do. It only takes like maybe 2 hours at most, depending on how heavy the customer base is. But definitely download the Honda app, connect it to your car via Bluetooth so they're synced with the miles and everything, and you know, keep your car up to maintenance, because these turbos can be fragile sometimes, even though we run them to the floor. And the last thing you want to do is have to buy a new turbo because your turbo went out and you weren't taking care of your car. So with that being said, hope it helps somebody, and happy holidays.